I see you. Yeah, now it is. Okay. Hey, and we're doing a tribute to Stuart today.
Do not attempt to adjust your YouTube video. We control the stream.
And welcome back to Geek Out SA. It's Friday, but we're not having fun. Not today.
No.
So this is a tribute to Stuart Hamblin, our best friend, our producer, and we miss him. And yeah, I mean, we have a lot to say. There's a lot to say about him, but it's gonna be tough to get it out.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a little tough to get it out. But thank you for watching this today. I appreciate it.
He passed away last Thursday, and we found out Friday morning. We were actually going to text him because somebody over there forgot to text him the week before last and tell him that we weren't having the show.
Yeah.
So I texted him I called him first and he wasn't answering his phone. And so then I texted him and I was like, somebody forgot to tell you that we're not having the show. And I know you're going to be here in about 15 minutes. And
he was like an hour before.
It wasn't.
Yeah,
it wasn't.
Yes, it was.
So
like an hour before.
he was like, so Vince, yeah, way to tell me at the last minute. You just forgot.
I just forgot.
You were excited about your camper. So we went the weekend before last and we went and got our camper that we've been planning and stuff. And so then last Friday we were supposed to have the show, and I was on my way to work and we were both going to text him.
Yeah.
And say, hey, early notice, we're actually having the show today. And then we got a text that said that he was gone. And so I couldn't do the show last week, but we really wanted to say something this week.
Mm-hmm.
And just talk about how much he meant to us and to like fandom here in San Antonio, because we've known him for a long time. Mm-hmm. He's been our producer for 4 years, which is ridiculous. I didn't realize that we had been doing this with him and dragging him along for 4 years.
It's the longest lasting producer we've ever had.
Well, we just all kind of really clicked.
We really clicked. Yeah.
We really clicked. And so if you go back and watch some of our previous videos, you'll hear his voice a lot. He absolutely hated to be on camera, and he didn't want to be on camera, but you'll hear his voice.
Every once in a while we got him. But yeah, you will hear his voice.
And he always had really good show ideas.
Because as long as we've been doing it, sometimes we've run out of
We've
ideas.
run out of ideas.
And he would come up with some really great ones. I was like, are you kidding? Even though after, like, ticked Colleen off when we were doing the trivia.
That's because you beat me and I knew you were going to beat me.
We have a lot of people watching right now, so thanks for watching, guys. We have Daryl Hober. Good evening, friends. Daryl Hober here. You may remember as one of the organizers of MizumiCon. I am a red polo shirt guy, here to pay tribute to my favorite Aussie ever.
Yeah,
he was on the coolest.
So let's go way back in time. So way back in time, Vincent and I met Stuart through ChimeraCon. So ChimeraCon was a tabletop gaming convention here in San Antonio. And bless its heart, it was just the lamest, cheesiest, smallest little piece of garbage convention you've ever seen. And but you know, Stuart loved conventions and he loved the fandom and he loved all things geeky, and then he had his toy company, Octane Toys. So he wanted to grow the conventions because he really loved the convention scene.
He did more for the geek community than many people realize.
Than they realize, yeah. So
he did a lot.
He was behind the scenes a lot. He was pretty good at organizing, but he was better at like getting prize support and like medals and trophies. He always had the hookup for that kind of stuff, and he was always finding like prizes for like an anime competition.
Yeah, he would do stuff like this, and I was like, "Okay, Stuart, how much does it cost?" He's like, "No, I got it." I was like, "No, we need to pay you for it."
Yeah.
He's like, "No, I got it."
Make badges.
He did it with our banners.
Yep. Made the banners
for
so when we moved over to Game Expo. So
yeah.
Vincent ended up taking over ChimeraCon, and then Stuart really helped us as we transitioned, and we did ChimeraCon with that name for a couple of years, and then we transitioned it to Game Expo. And so he really helped us with like ideas to like modernize it and to bring more people in. And bless his heart, he has way too many arcade machines, he'll admit it. And so that was one of the things that he did for the community, is he would lug these arcade machines onto like trailers and stuff and bring them to your con so that you would have arcade machines at your con. So he did that for MizumiCon, which was a little anime con at Our Lady of the Lake. Did it for San Japan, did it for us at ChimeraCon and Game Expo. You know, he was always out there. Now, granted, you know, when he needed a break from his booth selling his toys, you would find him over there at his arcade machines.
Yeah.
Like, you know. So it was, the arcade machines was always something that, like, you knew that he loved. And it was nice because he always brought that. And there was always people around the arcade machines, because who doesn't love an arcade machine, right?
Yeah.
And so no matter what con he took them to, there was always people there, you know, lined up to play them and stuff.
So we have a few comments here from Random President. Hey guys, this is Ashley. I've been a close friend of Alyssa and got very close to Stuart, and my favorite childhood memories lie in my time with her and Stuart and his family. Rest in peace, Stuart.
Thank
You'll be 100% missed. You will. You will. Lisa Patterson says, hello all, I'm Stuart's first wife in Australia and the mother of
Jack's
his son,
mom.
Jack.
Jack's mom. Hi. Say hi to Jack. And Stuart talked about Jack all the time.
There was so much he talked to us about, and we learned about his life. It was really awesome to hear all of the things that he did.
And he was a typical dad. Like, you know, we were friends outside of this, so of course we bitched about our kids and how we wanted them to do better. So it's nice to have somebody in our age bracket, you know, to complain about, because it wasn't just about the show. Sorry. But we were friends. So after the show, Vince would drag us to Whataburger every week, like
Every
some
week.
cult for a while, for like 3 years,
yeah.
dude. Don't say every week. It was 3 years before Stuart and I convinced him to go somewhere else. And then we would come back to the house and we would watch movies or TV shows. And then we just talked about our lives and our kids, and we were just friends, you know.
Because we'd sit at Whataburger for like sometimes 2 hours.
Like 2
just
hours
talking.
sometimes, just talking and complaining about our jobs. You know, doing a normal adult friend talking type stuff, you know. Talk about your kids and how much you love them and you worry about them and you want them to do better.
And Jennifer Hebert says he was always amazing. Thank you, we love him and miss him too. That was from Lisa Patterson. Pop Culture Geekery, we met Stuart at Game Expo and we ended up making a deal with him and Regina to carry their Pokemon plushies in our store. then when you guys had us on the show, I realized y'all were close friends.
Oh my God. And he hated those Pokemon plushies. He did that stall in the mall where he sold those stupid things and he just wanted them to die. And he liked Pokemon.
It was at Rolling Oaks Mall, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He liked Pokemon. Like, he had the coolest little...
Oh, the coin
like
things.
coin token things from like Japanese machines that he brought, and there's a show where we showed him off, and he was the one who had the show idea to do like what was going on with Pokemon cards when they were so like sold out everywhere.
Yeah.
And he brought us that stuff that he was getting from Amazon that was fake, and like he was so knowledgeable about all of that kind of stuff and about collecting and everything.
He schooled us a lot.
A lot. Oh my
stuff.
God, he made fun of me so much for keeping all of the boxes for all of my like cheesy Funko Pops and all of these other. He's like, girl, you know that stuff's not collectible. Why? Like, they're a dime a dozen. You might as well go get a pound of Beanie Babies while you're at it and put them in cases because you're being ridiculous. And so I finally took everything out and put them on the shelves. So they're out. Yeah. Over there.
Steve Cuneo said he always said hi whenever you guys were are live. It wasn't much, but he always made me feel welcome, and that means a lot to me. Sorry, it's hard to read this stuff because, yeah, he meant a lot to us too. It was the little things too. That board.
This board. This board.
Y'all don't know what.
You don't even know what he would
board.
do with this board. So originally, this board was for him to tell us to get back on track because we go off on crazy tangents all the time. And then he would write when we were at halfway, and then when we had like 10 minutes and 5 minutes and stuff like that.
Or when we were talking about like old 80s cartoons. What did he do, Colleen?
So I made the mistake of letting him know that I had a crush on Optimus Prime. So then he would use this to draw pictures of me kissing Optimus Prime. And then he would show me the pictures of me kissing Optimus while I was trying to concentrate on the show. It was not nice, but it was kind of funny. In hindsight, it was funny. No, I laughed during, but I was like, I'm going to get you. You know?
Yeah.
And he would write stuff and distract Vince. And sometimes he would be writing stuff to Vince and he wouldn't let me see it. And I don't even know if he was writing anything that was secret. He was probably just writing like, you have 10 minutes left or something.
Yeah.
But then he was just showing Vince and he would look at me like, I'm not going to show you. You don't get to know. And then I thought they were talking about me. And I was like, oh, you guys stink. I hate you so much. Oh, you have to use your hands because that was his favorite thing of all time. So if you know Stuart, you know that Stuart hated TikTok. He hated TikTok because of what he felt like it was doing to the kids.
Yeah.
And so he hated it that Vince and I liked TikTok and thought TikTok was the funniest thing ever. So we
still is.
It's
Stuart,
so funny,
sorry.
Stuart. Sorry. So we buy the hands. We found them at like Five Below or something, so that Vincent could, 1, use them, and 2, torture Stuart with them. So first of all, they ticked him off because they were from TikTok things, and then it ticked him off because it wasn't the right skin tone. And so he would sit there and try to throw stuff every time he saw Vince even like put his hand over to like try to go for them. And so
he got one, and
he got one not last.
Hand.
Yeah, like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
He had like his nail clippers and he threw them really hard, and he just hit the hand perfectly, and the hand went like flying off the desk and everything. And Vince was like, "That's all right, I'll just use one." So yeah, it was like totally.
So we would all like pick on each other. It was just like a cool, fun.
So fun.
And
he's the one who really taught you how to like solder and do stuff for your lightsaber.
Yeah, because I was so intimidated by doing it because it was such a small form factor, and I saw him. I remember after we let me see if I can grab it. After we
Oh yeah, that.
did the arcade, he put this together with me for me, and he made a little arcade machine.
Yeah,
for
he
me.
specially
And
got
it's-
the sticker specially made and everything
and
for
he
us.
modded it so you could play every game, because in there in the chip it had like 4 games, but it was only like one was enabled. So he added a little toggle switches so you could switch between the games, which was really cool.
He was just always so good at that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
And he's the one who, so he's really good friends with another man, Imran, and he has
And
Texas.
he's watching too.
He has Texas Gamers Lounge, and so you know, we went to some of the kids' parties out there at Texas Gamers Lounge, and we did a couple of videos, and then he was like, "Hey, Imran's having this sale."
Yeah, we actually have the video for that. If you go to Queue Up, and then it should be TG.
Under scenes?
No, Queue Up on the.
You want to go show him real quick?
There's a Queue Up folder at the bottom.
Yep.
And then there's TGL.
Yep.
So Aaron's here to help us, being the producer today. So
So TGL, you said?
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, pushing it.
Through that thing, we were also like playing games there, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, so Imran had a sale out there, and Stuart was like, "Look, if you come out here, and
Because
if you buy a cabinet,
and
I
we
can
didn't
help
know this
you."
at the time, but both of us have always really wanted an arcade machine.
Yeah, yeah. And so
And,
just through talking to him, and he was like, "I could help y'all fix it up. Like, I know what components to put in it. Like, you can just get a TV from Best Buy and like a Raspberry Pi, or I don't know that y'all didn't end up doing the Raspberry Pi. You ended up doing something else, right?" But he knew where to get the buttons on Amazon and everything. And so we went out there and we played games with him. And as you can see in that video, he was trying to avoid me putting him on camera again, but I got him. And
You did.
And yeah, so he helped us create our machine, which is really great. And we played it with him. I used to play with him a lot before the show. But then he was like back on a Street Fighter kick, and I was like, "Dude, I'm not playing that with you because you kick my butt every time." So I was like, "Can't we play the bubble game or whatever, or Dig Dug or something?" Like, he would play Kazumu Mesa with me, and
Regina says we had tons of those little arcade machines.
yeah. Man, he loved an arcade machine. He was just like, that was his biggest passion of all the things that he collected and liked. Like the arcade machines, they just spoke to him, you know. And
I
that was his
remember
favorite.
we got him the 12-inch
I think so.
one, the one they didn't have yet,
Yeah.
and because he got him on like a Kickstarter, and he was just like, "I want all of them." And we're like, and we had plans to do stuff with like some of our Star Wars collectibles.
Yeah.
Playing
Dude,
those
and
games.
he loved. He and I both loved Dragon's Lair. Like, just both were fascinated with how great that the graphics were, and it was like playing through a movie, you know. And back then in the '80s, that was just ridiculous.
Irene says Stuart sent me one of those for my husband. We have Thomas watching. The toggle switches are really cool. Ruby Tuesday is watching us right now. She only has a few minutes, but she's dropping by to check base. And Regina says he has tons of those little arcades. I will save them for you.
Thanks, Regina.
And Oksana says, "Hey, Colleen and Vince, this is his adopted daughter, Oksana. You've met me a few times.
We have it.
When I tagged along after school, I miss him a lot, and I hope you both well.
Thank
forever.
you,
Love,
Oksana.
Stuart. Thank you. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, we hope you're doing good too. We try to check on you guys to make sure you and Daniel and Alyssa
Are good.
are good. It must be hard, and we're sorry that you have to go through this. So, and if you ever need to talk, we're out here. We remember all of you. So, and we talked about you behind your back to your dad a lot. So there's that too. And Stuart was always good about having presents. God, he loved to give a present.
Yeah.
So I didn't think to get a clip of this, but God, it tickled him to death. He bought us these action figures. They're the DC He-Man mashup.
Mm-hmm. I had no idea that these were even a thing. It was something that Funko made.
And he found them, and he was like, "Oh, these are the perfect thing." And so, and he knew in true form that I would play with them, and so of course I did, because he was like, "Don't be stupid and take them out of the box, because they're not going to be collectible. Just play with them like you want to." And so we made a couple of videos, did like a background story, and then I broke one.
Snap the Joker's leg.
Snapped the Joker's leg right off, and Stuart thought that was the most hilarious thing because he knew they were pieces of crap. He was very particular about his collectibles and which ones were like collectible worthy versus which ones you could just play with. And he was like, "I know these are pieces of junk, but I'm giving them to you because they're cool and fun." And like he always knew. And he's the one that helped Vincent find the Hello Kitty Transformer mashup that I have.
Yeah.
And she's not out of the box because she actually is a collectible, so she's still in her box. So.
Yeah. She's an expensive little thing. Regina says, "Thank you so much. Daniel and Alyssa are here and anxious to hear all those stories from you guys later." So yeah, I mean, well, we have all the stories.
Well, Daniel's been drug over to our house God knows how many times with Princess Lami Lams and all the other different llamas, and we were going to tell stories, and then Stuart, let Vince humiliate him at a video game and put that on film.
I don't know that I could do it now, but I did then. Thomas says, "I only talked with Stuart once at ChimeraCon, but we talked for quite a while about comics and collectibles, so he knew a lot about that
He just
too."
knew so much, And it had gotten to be he had been here so long with us, and I'm the worst about remembering like anybody's names or anything, and so he always had a tab open because he would never remember either. And so he was always feeding me information, or he would like say it, out loud through his mic so that I could keep going. Sorry, I'm not.
Or he'd write it down for us on the board. So I will miss things like that. We would miss. I'm gonna miss watching the lower thirds come through with the little jabs that he would do at me, and the little jabs he would do at you. What did he call you, Mrs. Host, one time?
And I'll miss watching.
And Oksana says, "Oh no, not Princess Lami Lam."
I'll miss watching TV with him because he picked some of the crappiest shows you've ever seen in your entire life, and he just thought they were awesome. And and then he'd turn around and like pick the best thing, like Train to Busan, and you were like, "Wait, this is like the best thing I've ever seen." Like, I don't understand what we're doing here, Stuart. Oh my God. And he hated...
Joe's saying, "I love when I was in the studio with you guys and I would see a collectible on the wall and mention how cool it was, and Stuart would say, "I have that if you want one." And Lisa says Stuart and I were chatting on Messenger only hours before I got the news. And we were talking about Jack, ironically, and he told me that I'm not going to be around for Jack forever.
He just he worried about Jack and all the kids, you know, moving into their adult lives, and you know, you worry as a parent that you've prepared them enough and that they know what to do.
Want better for your kids.
And he knew that he was a grumpy old man, because bless his pea-picking little heart, he was a grumpy old man. He hated every ding-dang thing there was. And he would certainly tell you that. And he was hard on his kids, and he knew it, but he did it because, you know, he wanted what was best for them. And, you know, he wanted better for them than he did for himself. I mean, you know, working himself so hard all the time, and always, oh my God, he was such a klutz. The man was in the boot like half of his life, because he was always hurting his leg and dropping an arcade machine on his leg, and he'd just barely get out of the boot and drop another arcade machine on his leg or something, you know. It was just like, and so, you know, he just,
and we were like, why didn't you just tell me to have one of the kids help you, or I would come help you?
He was so stubborn too. Yeah. He wouldn't let anybody. But when our kids were little, they always loved Stuart too. And I mean, he was secretly giving them stuff too, by the way. We know about that. So yeah, but because we actually knew that he was secretly giving them stuff when he wasn't supposed to be, we would always make them go help him, like, break down and put things in the truck and stuff, especially like after Mizumi-Con, Game Expo, America.
Well, he kept feeding my Domo fever for the longest time. That's why I'm wearing Domo today.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you have a lot of Domos thanks to Stuart. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He's like, here, check this out.
Here, have this Domo. Look at this Domo that I have.
Says he loved you both so much. Coming and spending time there was one of the few things that he scheduled regularly.
That's because we were his bitch buddies. No, I think we just all clicked. You know how you just meet those people sometimes and you just click.
Yeah.
And they just get you.
Yeah. And
they just like the same stuff that you like. But not always, because sometimes he liked anime way too much, and that's just not my gig. Okay, Stuart, I'm sorry. No, I liked some of it, but I'm telling you, the man liked to watch some weird stuff.
Really weird stuff.
He had us watch this one show one time that was like an off version of Orange is the New Black. Mm-hmm. I was like, dude, we can't, what are you making us watch? Like,
I remember watching that. I was like, when is this going to be over? And you don't want to be mean because he suggested it. And
right.
He usually watches whatever we want to watch.
Yeah.
He's usually fine with that. But, shows.
But then, then we'd watch stuff like Doom Patrol and Titans, and those things were like great. Oh my God, but he bitched about every Star Wars thing. He and I would fight so much about the Star Wars stuff. And especially because I liked it. And he was like so disappointed in me for liking it. Why'd you like this? And this was wrong with this. And this was wrong with that. And, oh my God, he hated Grogu because Grogu was just a, marketing ploy to get people to love Star Wars again. And now they're going to add a baby everything to everything. And I'm like, stop being grouchy about Star Wars. I love it all. And he hated it all. He'd concede every once in a while. He'd be like, okay, that part was good. All right, that was okay.
Yeah, Lisa says he always had an extremely warped sense of humor.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah, that's it. And then he would be so mad at the Bad. So we were watching the Bad Batch recently, and he was so mad at their accents and everything.
Because he's Australian and they had
They were New Zealand and Omega, especially. Omega had a big, huge New Zealand accent. Oh my God, he hated it so much. He would talk so much smack about Omega every time we would watch the Bad Batch.
Yeah, because apparently there's this thing that Australians and New Zealanders don't like each other.
Yeah, it's like UT and Texas A&M. It's kind of like a rivalry kind of thing. We never get it. We were like, she's cute. She's a little kid. And then, then I would say, oh, she's cute. She's a little kid, right? It's been a little kid forever. And then he'd be like, oh, she's another Grogu? Oh, you should get add little kids to everything in Star Wars. I'm like, damn it, Stuart. Yeah, that was our biggest battle all the time. Was definitely that one.
Our biggest battle was audio settings.
Your biggest battle was every setting. He would come in, oh, Vince, why'd you set the stream deck like this? You're like, dude, it's the same as it was last week. This is not the same as last week. Why'd you put OBS over here? This is the same as last week. That's not what you like for 10 minutes, like before the show every time. You're touching it. Where's my batteries? Like for 10 minutes, they're bitching at each other like a couple of old ladies the whole freaking time. And I'm just sitting over here. Guys, the show's gonna start soon. Look what he did. He messed with his setting. What are we using this? What are we using this for? What?
Daryl says MizumiCon would not have gotten off the ground without Stuart. He loaned us his cash registers before we had our own. He gave us stuff for prizes.
Yep.
He was always there, always ready with a funny, sarcastic comment. He always told us that he made a ton of money selling at our con, and I hope that was really true. We always wanted all the flowers to bloom, and he was the biggest sunflower of all.
Yep.
Regina says he used to get so mad at me when I tried to watch Star Wars with him. I kept falling asleep, and he'd throw his stuff at my head to wake me up because Star Wars sucks.
Regina!
Well, Star Trek rules.
Regina, how could you? How could you? The horror. I mean, I do love Star Trek too, but like Star Wars is kind of the bomb.com, not gonna lie. Yeah.
We have a few things in here for that. I don't know. All of that I'll miss. Even when we're like griping at each other, it's like we never really got like upset with each other.
No.
We never had like a fight or anything and stopped talking.
No, and it would be funny because then, okay, they'd be bitching at each other like a couple of old ladies, and then if Vincent and I would do it, he'd be like, no, Mommy and Daddy are fighting. Mommy and Daddy, stop fighting. Don't fight, Mommy and Daddy. And I'm like, shut up. You were just fighting with him a minute ago.
My favorite, Oksana said, my favorite moments was spending hours at Whataburger just listening to those two bicker.
Oh, well, because Stuart would get mad at Vince too, because there for a while, like a couple of years ago, it hasn't happened recently, but for a while, Vincent was obsessed with the numbers, right? Okay, so we would just be finished with the show. We'd go to Whataburger. We'd be sitting there. The show's ended like, I don't know, maybe 10, 15 minutes ago. Oh, look, we have 57 views. Oh, look, we have 59 views. Like the whole time during dinner. And Stuart was like, I swear to God, I'm going to take your phone and shift it down. Stop looking. Stop looking. Are you looking? Stop looking. He's like, oh, Vince, do you have 150,000 views now? How about 158,000 views? Are you waiting for? No.
Not yet. Sadie Rose says Stuart came by to assist me with my Lincoln as we were talking off. As we were taking off a ball joint. to the car. I smacked my head. Stuart said, "Did that hurt?" I said, "Yeah." He says, "Good. You learned something." that sounds
That's
like
him.
Stuart. Yeah.
That's him. That is definitely him for sure.
This is Mark, Maureen, and Sadie. We love you, Stuart. There's a ton of people that love Stuart, and
He
I
was
hope everybody.
so giving. Like, he was always, like she said, he was there helping her with her Lincoln, with her car, right?
Mhm.
And he could do so much stuff. Like, I don't even know how his company is going to manage without him, because this man, like, hobbled together technology that should no longer even exist in this era, and he would make it work. So, I don't know how they're going to manage. Like, he was always, like, fixing stuff and bringing stuff and giving presents, and like, he was going to work on the camper with us, and then, like, if you did something, and especially if it was something that he had showed you how to do before, then he would be, like, super proud of you, right? Like, that you did it by yourself. And he would be, like, sarcastic about it, but you also knew that he, like, loved you and he was proud of you. Because he and Vincent, he helped Vincent make a gaming table for Game Expo one year.
Yeah. What? I think it's in Pix 2 under Queue Up. It's gonna be in there if you just want to roll that while we're talking.
Let's go on.
So Vincent and I have never been, like, construction people, good at making. I mean, we think we're pretty good, but we're not.
We're better.
We're better
We're
now.
better now.
But we're better because he showed us how, right?
Yeah.
And he came over and he would work all day, and then he would come over late at night, and and he would work on the table with us, and he would, like, show us how to do different things and stuff. And so we're better now because he showed us. Yeah. Because he showed us.
I'm a better solderer because of him.
Yeah. Yep. And so you'll see in a lot of the pictures, I would put him up on, like, Twitter or Instagram or whatever, and that one that I have of him where he's, like, thumbs up and he's making fun of Vince.
Yeah.
He's making fun of Vince in that picture, actually. But if you didn't know, you would think he was just being funny or being cute. But so Vince always does this thumbs up thing in, like, every I mean, he's done it for years and years, and Vince and Stuart and I give him crap for it every time. He loves the thumbs up. And so I was, like, taking the picture of Vince, and there goes Vince, and he's like, and so then I just turned to take a picture of Stuart, and I wasn't even expecting it, and that was when he did the whole thing like that. And he's like this, Vince?
Yeah, just like that.
And then Vince does this thing to do the mic check. You have to do the mic check thing.
Oh, yeah. Hey, this is Vinny G, the man with the plan, out of sight and in the groove, a really modern kind of guy. He hated that.
Hated it. So, of course, since he hated it, Vincent would do it, and then he'd be trying to, like, shut him up. I'm cutting off your mic. That's it. I unplug it, and we're done.
It's ringing in my ears.
It's ringing in my ears. I don't know. He was great. He was a grumpy, stubborn old man, but he was great too.
Yeah. And we were going to go to Australia with him. And that was one of the things I was looking forward to. And
me too.
We'll get to do that again. There's the table.
To the table.
I'm probably behind. I don't know.
You want to show the last the last video clip that we have is from several years ago.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, recently he had decided to grow his hair long. That was another thing he and I fought about, but whatever. So this is from a while ago when his hair was short, but it's just a little clip of him when we actually got him on camera.
Toys. which is usually behind the camera.
Yeah, I don't like
And-
this. I want to be over there.
Yeah. He's like, can I go back there?
Yeah.
Put Nick back over here, and he can just talk for me.
That's right.
I'll just feed him stuff in his ear. That's what we need next. Is for Vince to buy.
No,
We're just
stop.
like Vince to buy more stuff.
What technology can go wrong?
Any
No.
more mics?
No.
No.
We're good with what we've got. Once we've got that all figured out, then we'll
We
get
just
more
need to
high-tech.
We just need to get that one cable fixed. That's it.
And now the Stream Deck.
Yeah, no.
And now the stream.
And
deck.
OBS.
And OBS.
And then the computer shuts down.
No, we fixed that. I
And
fixed
takes
that last
updates.
week. No, we're good with that.
Are we sure?
The computer is fine. It's working solid now.
Yeah.
You better knock on that desk or something.
I took all the updates that it needed, so it's working. But we're talking about toys today. So one of the toys that I grew up with are G.I. Joes. Used to play with the little action figure
I didn't know you played
Joes.
G.I. Joes.
Yeah, I did.
I thought you
Big
were a
time.
Star Wars guy.
I was a Star Wars guy too.
G.I. Joes? Did you play G.I. Joe? Or you played with the bigger G.I. Joe?
No,
or not really a thing?
G.I. Joe wasn't really a big thing in Australia. We had G.I. Joe for a very short period of time. Our G.I. Joe is called Action Man.
Action Man?
Action Man.
And that makes sense. G.I. Joe would be here in the States. G.I. Joe.
Regina says we're planning to go over there to spread his ashes so we can all go together. Let us know. Daryl says Christina Pregonis hasn't been able to make it to the stream yet, but she wants everybody to know that she's glad you're here also, and sends her love for Stuart. So, I don't know. This is something that's gonna hit me for a long time coming, and it's his birthday today. He would have been 51 today. So he was taken way too early, and he would probably want me to tell you, and I'm telling you all the truth, because he would want me to say this. He didn't die of COVID.
No, he died because he was a stubborn butt who didn't take care of himself. He was a man, basically.
Good man, though.
Yeah.
A good man.
I was going to say something about something that he said in there, and then I forgot. Oh. The technology was another thing. So Vince is obsessed with Alexa, and we have like, I'm not gonna lie, we have like eight of them in the house.
Oh God.
So Vince, Stuart,
They all serve purposes.
Stuart was convinced, like me, that she was gonna, take over and be like Skynet, and
Robot overlord.
she was gonna be our robot overlord. And so for a while, when Vincent first got her, Stuart and I would say ugly things to her and be mean to her. And then we kind of decided that maybe we would be the first ones to go if we didn't start being nice to her.
Well, she stopped turning on the arcade machine when he asked her to.
Well, half the time she couldn't understand him because of his Australian accent, which would frustrate him to no end also. But then he decided that in order to pay Vincent back, he would start asking her to order a bunch of stuff and put it on Vincent's Amazon shopping list.
He would tell her to order 100 packs of toilet paper. Luckily, she didn't understand it.
Oh man, it was so funny. try to pull his prank and then get mad because he couldn't. And then he would ask her stuff like, "Hey Alexa, are you listening to us?" And then
I'm designed to protect your privacy, so I record audio only after your device detects the wake word, or if the action button is pushed. On Echo devices, you'll always know when your request is being sent to the cloud and recorded, because a blue light indicator will appear or an audio tone will sound. You can learn more by visiting amazon.com/Alexa privacy.
And then he'd be like, see?
Apparently, you can go and download all those audio files.
Oh, really?
You can request them and download them on and listen to them. What is listened to them? Apparently, like every time you say her name,
And then you say something. I bet there's audio files that we have of him saying God knows what to her. So I have a secret, and now that he's gone, I can tell this secret because it's not a secret anymore because he's gone. So Stuart liked collectibles and all that stuff. We all knew all that about him, and he liked anime, and he liked that. Well, so Regina, that's right, Regina, I'm going to call you out. Regina really liked these bath bombs and these candles that had rings in them. So Stuart, being the tech guy that Stuart was, he was like poking around in their website, and he would find upcoming deals that they were getting ready to have. He would find coupon codes. And so he would like then share it out with the Facebook group. Well, then he would incite these riots among all of these women, and all these women would be like talking to him. So unbeknownst to many people, Stuart has a second identity.
Kitty White.
Kitty White. Oh my God, he's like a Chauncey girl from California, and he's so cute. And he would talk like that. Yes, he would. And flip his hair like that and everything when he was...
And if you don't know what Kitty White is, because that was a joke on the thing too, what Kitty White is. Kitty White is the character Hello Kitty.
Hello Kitty.
But her name is actually Kitty White.
Right. And so he used that, and then
nobody got that.
Nobody got that. And then he was smart, he knew tech, and so he could go in, and he knew how to go in and like make it look like his location was changed so that he was like at Starbucks and stuff, like in California when he was posting as her. He had so much flippin' fun being Kitty White and like being BFFs with these chicks and like getting these candles and getting these rings and getting these specialty bath bombs and like trading them and sell. I was like, dude, you're the worst. You're a hot mess. But I mean, I wish I had taken a video of him doing his Kitty White like voice and everything because it was hilarious. It was like so hilarious.
Come on, guys.
Come on, guys. Like,
Stop
I'm Kitty White. I'm like your best friend.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a secret that people might not know about Stuart, that he had a secret female alter ego who loved to stir things up in the candle ring bath bomb community. Yeah. So.
Daryl says, how many of us just asked our Echo that question? Yeah.
All right, Vince, we better end because this would make Stuart mad too. Because when Stuart first got here, we were doing hour-long shows, and he was like, y'all are just ding-dang ridiculous. And some of it was because we would go off on tangents, and so he would have to stop us. But he's the one that wanted to cut it down. Originally, he wanted to cut it down to 30 minutes, and he went to 45, and he kept telling us every few months, that next show, we're going to cut it to 30 minutes. We're going to cut it to 30 minutes.
We can't get it done in 30 minutes.
And then we'd do a show, and he'd be like, oh, yeah, that show was really good. Okay, well, we'll stay at 45. There were a couple of times, though, that the show was, like, really crappy. And he would tell us, too. He'd be like, ooh, guys.
Oh, like
The show you and he did without me was
the one we did
horrible.
was just like, it was hard.
Both of y'all were telling me afterwards. Both of y'all were texting me like, don't leave us. Don't ever leave us. It was terrible. Who let us do this by ourselves?
Mom left the children in trouble. They were smart.
Why did Mommy leave?
Oh, he's like, you'll be fine. You'll be
You'll
fine.
be fine.
No, I
No,
know.
it was terrible. It was horrible and awful.
We should have just like taken that day off and then just watch.
Yeah, y'all should have just gone to dinner like you had wanted to and
Yeah.
watched TV and stuff without me. And yeah, that was not good. And then he was tickled pink at the one that we did, the puppets one, and you hated the puppets one, and he loved that. He wanted us to do another puppet one so bad, and you also hated the one where we did the pretend sleepover and we did each other's makeup or whatever. He loved the hell out of that show. He was like, I think I've watched that one like 4 times. He was like,
Or the one where he did the different candies, the must sticks and stuff like that.
oh my God, and he would eat all that crap. Thank God we
Wasn't
never got
good.
to the Vegemite. Thank God we never got to
I always wanted to try it.
I didn't
and we
want to
never
try
got to
it.
try
I
it.
didn't want to try it. I did not. I was not willing.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's
My heart is broken.
lots of people's hearts are broken right now.
I miss my friend. And I just hope his friends and family know how much he loved them.
And how much he loved the community. Even though he griped about it, he loved it. Or he wouldn't have done it. He loved being around his people, and the geek community was his people, and he loved y'all. But thanks for checking us out. Really appreciate that, Stuart. We love you. But I'm Vince.
And I'm Colleen. Bye, Stuart. And Aaron, thanks for helping.
Geek out,
I
I
say.
say.